Hi guys, welcome. Today we're going to look at how you can build your own custom DIY grow light station without spending a fortune. Let me tell you a little bit about my background with gardening. I had gardened probably 15 years ago, but I never started seeds. I bought all the plants from the store. Didn't have a whole lot of luck, and it wasn't organic gardening. So 2022, I decided I wanted to get back into gardening. I started watching a lot of YouTube, reading books, just learning as much as I possibly could. And what I found is that it was a whole lot more economical to go ahead and start seeds indoors. The cost difference, well, there is a little bit of investment with some type of structure and grow light or shop light in this case. Overall, and especially long term wise, the cost benefit is amazing. One pack of seeds will cost you $2 to $5 usually for vegetables, and you can get 10, 20, 50 plants sometimes. You go to the store, Lowe's or Home Depot, or even your local grocery store like Meijer or Walmart, and it's $4, $5, $6 per plant. So for $5, I could have 20 plants, or I could go and spend $6 a piece for 5 plants, and it was $30. So scale wise, the price difference is huge, and it's really not that expensive to build your own setup. All you really need is some type of shelving structure. My preference and would definitely recommend is a wire shelving unit. It allows you flexibility for hanging your lights on it, as well as more airflow in between the plants. Last year, I started with a 36-inch shelf by 14 inch, or 36-inch wide by 14-inch deep. I had it set up in the middle of my room. I had lights on 3 shelves. Having never grown seeds before, I was really afraid I was going to kill a lot of them. And most of them didn't die. So I ended up with a whole lot of seeds. I had all 3 shelves crammed full. I even, because I had 4-foot lights, but a 3-foot shelf, they were hanging off the edges. And I rigged up different ways to hold the plants up so that I would have more space outside the actual shelving unit. And I have to say, because I was starting so many seeds and I needed so much space, I had a few catastrophes with trying to squeeze a little bit more on the shelf and go all of a sudden off the back of the shelf, go kerplop. Oh no. Plants upside down, dirt's all over the place. So, highly recommend that you have enough shelving space for what you want to grow. This year, I want to grow a lot of different vegetables, but also I want to get into cut flower gardening. So that I decided I wanted to go upgrade to 4-foot shelves. I also decided to go ahead and get 2 of these 6-tier units. So I have 6 shelves, wire shelves on each unit. I'm going to have grow lights on 4 of the shelves on each unit. They're only ones currently on for the Lysianthus. But this will allow me to have 4 shelving units for the seed starting, plus 2 additional shelves for storage. So these units cost about $100. Pricing on Amazon was anywhere from $95 up to $106 is what they were as of today. But you don't have to get something this large. It's very customizable to what you need or what you're going to do. So if you don't have a lot of space in your home, wherever it is you want to start seeds, go ahead and get a 2-foot shelf. Go ahead and get a 3-foot shelf. They make these lights. These are Barinna LED lights. They make them 2-foot, 3-foot, 4-foot wide, even 8-foot if you want to go super large. So there's a lot of options, very customizable to what you're doing and what your needs are. They work extremely well. Last year, I grew lettuce inside from January on. Harvestable lettuce. Spinach was harvestable. I even grew some of the German kiss tomatoes to fruit stage. So it was really, really exciting. Right now, in January 1st, about a week ago, I started some spinach for indoors, some lettuce indoors, also a variety of different herbs that I would like to have harvest before it's time to plant them outside your last frost date. Ours generally runs anywhere between the 25th of April and the 1st of May. So I'm going to be trying to plant out some of the colder things like onions and also cabbage and cauliflower, pak choi, all of the brassica things in the early part of May. So your onions, you need to start about 8 to 10 weeks beforehand. So I went ahead and started those a week ago. They're already growing. I also started sage, which has already sprouted and is really, really, really green. Okay. And I know there are some questions with regards to, do I need grow lights? Can I use shop lights? What is it that I actually need? What I'm using are Barinna 6500 Kelvin, 5000 lumen lights. They're really, really bright. They're so bright, I had 4 sets on. I have 2 per shelf hanging on chains that are adjustable. They were so bright that I came home the other night and I could have probably landed a plane out from my window. There was so much light leaking out through the blind. So I went to Walmart and I got some blackout curtains, and I got ones that were white. So they will actually reflect all that light back onto the plants. So you kind of might blow the camera out here in a minute when I turn them all on. But it reflects the light back to it, so you're not losing so much of that energy. It's going directly back to the plants. I do have the shields on these for eye protection because they are extremely bright. And if you look at them too long, you could damage your eyes. So you don't want to do that. So again, these are very easily adjustable. And each light, the set I bought was 6, and it was about $80, $85 on sale. So it comes with 6 lights. I did end up for this year to ensure that I had enough for all 4 shelves. Bought 2 more units. I had one last year. They should last for about 20,000 hours and be effective grow lights for that time period. So I've got 8 to 10 years easily, even starting this early. So they will, while they're a little bit of an investment, very, very well worth it over the time. Not buying all of these plants this year from Lowe's or Home Depot, I will recoup all the money I spent. So my investment for one shelving unit with 4 grow lights was about $225. So just a little over $50 per shelf. I mean, $50, 10 plants from the store. So, and I've got way more than that already, and I don't even have a fraction of my shelves filled yet. Each of these lights does come with its own power cord as well as a connector. So you can connect the lights one to another. The way I have done it so that I can turn them on shelf by shelf. So like my Lysianthus, right now I want on 24/7. The other ones are on a timer. I don't need those on but 16 hours a day. So, and then the other ones that are also plugged in but don't need to be on right now, I can turn off. So I just switch on with the on off button for the shelves that I actually want to be running at this time. So you could connect all of them together, or you could connect them in sets or even individually so that you have the flexibility to have the light where you need. For the wider shelf, I definitely recommend having 2 lights, one in the back, one towards the front. I'll show you this in a second. I have storage underneath. All my canning jars, I have tucked under the very bottom of the shelf. So I've actually got a 7th space underneath there. Got canning jars up the top, as well as some beans and some other storage. So there's a lot of customizability and a little bit of investment to start, but it's a huge cost savings. Totally recommend it. One thing I would like to note is that they are so strong and so bright that I found last year that 8 inches, they say, oh, you have to have it right above the plant. These are so strong that even 8 inches was where they needed to be. I had purple cabbage that was purple. Again, I had geranium kiss tomatoes that fruited. They are an 85 CRI. So your sunlight, daylight is 100, and grow lights are usually around 90. So they're just slightly below grow light, but they're very, very bright. Some things that you may want to consider, some additional gadgets or to help. A heat mat is effective. Right now I have a Lysianthus on this. It needs heat for germination. It needs to warmer temperatures. So I've got a heat mat underneath that. But there is this temperature gauge that you can put in so that it will help effectively keep your plants at the temperature they need for germination. So you place the probe in the dirt, plug your heat mat into this device, and it will turn the heat mat off when it's warm enough, or it allows it to turn on when it's cooler. So this is a really good idea for effective keeping the temperature even. Another thing I had problems with last year was, especially early on, was overwatering. Killed my early onions pretty pretty well. I use peat pots, which I would not recommend for onions or anything that's going to be growing long term in your pots. I definitely changed everything over to plastic this year. The one thing I did find was that if I had a dehumidifier running, it really, really helped the plants be healthier, and with less watering, it was a better environment for the seed starting. So I would highly recommend, and I'll link this below. Nothing on this video is sponsored, but I'll link all of the lights, the shelving, this, and all of the other gadgets below. So if you're interested, you can find this. It wasn't very expensive. Again, trying to do this as economically as possible, but a really good idea. Another really good idea is to have some kind of fan going. I got these smaller ones that clip on so I can move them around. You can also use a larger oscillating fan, but it really helps, again, to keep the plants from dampening off. It also helps them make them stronger. There's a little resistance against their stalk as they're growing, so it really helps them to improve and be stronger as they grow. So highly recommend a fan, a humidifier. It's for some of them, and if you're going to use a heat mat, use a timer and temperature device. Okay, so now I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer so you can see the shelves up close, as well as some of the storage items. So as I said, down below, I'm able to store half-gallon, pint, and half-pint jars. I've got that underneath both of them. I also got some seed starting trays that are waiting to be put into service. And as you can see from this shelf, move the light out of the way just a hair, I can get 2 of the 72 cell count trays on the back, as well as 8 of these smaller units. And I really, really like these smaller trays. And you can get these to where they only have 6 cells, which I have some of those too, which I'll use when I'm potting some of this stuff up. If things need to be domed separately, say they have a different germination rate, you can dome a smaller version of it. And you'll see over here where I've got some of my green onions that have already popped up from a week ago, looking very green. But some of my other ones aren't nearly as far along. These are the red beard bunching onions. So they're not nearly as far along, so I can keep those covered. The garlic chives, I don't have any activity yet. Nor with the chives or cilantro, so I'm able to keep those covered. But I'll say these lights are very effective. Here is a lettuce I started a week ago. The lights are about 8 inches from the top, but look how green they are. They're looking really, really good. This is a different type of tray. I probably will not be using this tray again. The cells were actually very, very thin and flimsy. I got it from Home Depot, so I will not likely be able to use this one again, nor will I buy another one. But I thought it would be better to have the larger pots for the onions where you broadcast seed them and they grow up. And they'll be in these pots for quite a while. On this shelf, we have some butterfly spinach, which has started to come up and is looking really, really good. Probably about ready to undome that one. I'm going to give it one more day. We have some Genovese basil, which again, these are only planted a week ago tomorrow. So it's only been 7 days at the sage. I couldn't grow sage. I tried to grow sage last year, and it just did not work well. So I'm very excited to have this coming up like this already. And again, this popped up under the grow lights about 8 inches. And it is just already really, really green. Got some corn mosh. I planted this outside in the fall to try, and I don't think it came up very well. So I wanted to try some inside just to see what it was. And it's looking really good. Again, it's only been about 7 days, 6-7 days, so we're doing really well already. Up at the top, I have some above. I have so on the second to the top shelf, I have some microgreens sprouting, and then also some of the fertilizer and other gadgets I might need later on. And then on the top shelf, I have some freeze-dried apples, some beans, some other jars, half-gallon jars, gallon jars. Just got those. And then I have some extra canning items up there. Over there, I've got a few more of my seed starting trays and some extra canning jars that have already been emptied for this year. And also, I've moved I'm trying to overwinter 3 peppers. So I've moved them in here with the grow lights, and they seem to be doing fairly well. So this one is a green bell pepper. This one is a jalapeno pepper. And this is a habanada pepper that just went absolutely wild this past year. 2023 was my first garden in a decade and a half or more. So I was really excited. I was so excited. I kept adding new projects to my list. So I was always running behind because I had so much I wanted to get done. But this pepper grew from seed, and it just was prolific in what it produced. I'm just really looking forward to what it'll do next year. And the Lysianthus I have under the lights 24/7 till it sprouts. It's only been, again, about 7 days. So there's no growth on that yet. It'd probably be at least another week, maybe more. So one thing I would caution, I have in the same room my grow lights and my pantry shelves with things that I canned over the past year. These items need to stay in the dark, but with lights bright enough to land a plane, that's not going to be dark in here. So what I did was that I went to Walmart and got some blackout curtains, cheap curtain rod, just hung that over the post on each side, and then was able to put a blackout curtain on the front. I'm also a quilter, so I have quite a bit of extra material. So for the side, I just took a piece of the 42-inch cotton fabric that's folded over 4 times and made a side panel so that the light wouldn't get through. Thank you for joining me and following me through my journey. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And if you could also smash the like button, I'd really, really appreciate that. I've found gardening to be a wonderful outlet for health, both physically and mentally, emotionally. It's just amazing to watch the plants grow and to see what you can accomplish with rain and God's help. So please like and subscribe and follow me on my next video.